If you're used to flying from other airfields in the UK, flying in and out of Gloucester can feel a bit different, especially with the slot bookings and the booking out system. So as many of you have reached out to me requesting a video, here it is. I'm going to walk you through how it actually works in practice and what to expect before your first flight in or out of Gloucester. Hi, I'm Dale and this is Left Seat Culture. Let's jump into it. One of the main differences at Gloucester Airport is in addition to PPR, you also need to book a departure and an arrival slot. This is part of their traffic management system. This was introduced in recent years following a period where the airport was under increased oversight and with a focus on improving how traffic was managed and reducing the risk of aircraft getting too close to each other. So the idea is really to bring a bit more structure to how aircraft are spaced out, particularly in the circuit and during busy times. Unfortunately, in my opinion, this has impacted the spontaneity of flying in and out of Gloucester and also adds some elements of stress for pilots to meet their booked slots. There are a key few things that are worth knowing. Each slot is 15 minutes long, you can't make block bookings, and it also does not replace the standard PPR process. You still need to follow those normal procedures. If you're based at Gloucester, you can usually book up to a week in advance. However, if you're visiting, it's typically a requirement to book on the day. So it's worth factoring that into your planning if you're visiting Gloucester. So if you're not familiar with it, I'll quickly show you what that system looks like over on the computer. Okay, so you need to visit the Gloucester Airport website. Then if you go to flying and then to volume of traffic management, you'll then see the information about the slot system. So a few things to kind of note there. Most likely you're going to be flying VFR. There are only 3 slots for departures, and I think only 2 for departures. We'll see that in a moment. So 2 arrival slots, and obviously you can have typically just 1 in the circuit. If you scroll down, there's this little section here, slot availability can be previewed here. This then opens up a spreadsheet. You personally can't make any of the amendments. I'll put a phone number up that you have to call to do the booking. So if we look at today, when I'm recording this on the 7th of April, this is basically what the slot system looks like. So you can see here, there are 3 departure slots at each 15-minute interval, 2 arrival slots, and then 1 in the circuit. So there's more people departing than arriving. So obviously if you're based at Gloucester, you're going to book your departure slot and then your arrival back. If you are visiting, you need to book an arrival slot and then departure slot, and you can see that these slots are being added here. Obviously note the time is also in UTC. So for me today, it's actually quite busy to try and find a slot. So there might be one here at 11:45. There's 3 slots available there. And then to try and book in later, I might be able to land at 2:45 because there's a couple of slots there. So that's what the booking system looks like. So have a look on the system, and then you can call operations to hopefully book your departure and arrival slots. So once you've looked at the slots and seen what availability is, obviously you need to get your slot booked. So you typically contact operations. I recommend checking the website for the latest number. I will put one down below. When you call, they're generally going to ask you for your aircraft registration, your planned departure time, and potentially your destination or where you're coming from, obviously for your arrival and departures. And obviously if visiting or when returning home, you obviously need to book those relevant slots as well. It's a very quick call, nothing too complicated. You just got to be organised with it. As mentioned previously, before your flight, you still actually need to book out though, so go through a PPR process. Just because you've booked a slot doesn't mean you've been booked out. So again, you'll call that number, which I'll put some information down below. They're going to ask you for your aircraft type, number of people on board, where you're heading to, as well as your fuel endurance, how long your trip is planned to take. So just make sure you've done all that before you start up, because when you call Tower and you've not booked out, they're not going to talk to you. You have to get back on the phone and get that done as well. Another thing also to be aware of, if you're used to flying to other UK airfields, you might be used to doing the standard overhead join, something that I really prefer, gives you good visibility of the airfield. However, since these changes, Gloucester does no longer permit the standard overhead join. So you'll be joining via ATC instructions, which is a little bit more structured. It's not difficult, but it is something to be aware of. They're probably going to give you, a left or right base join downwind, something like that. Very rarely a long funnel, but again, it can happen. In terms of timing, it's worth planning carefully and also to plan things around your slot. As mentioned, those slots are a fixed 15-minute window, so there isn't much flexibility once you've got one booked. So the key here is to make sure you're ready in advance, the aircraft is prepped, all your checks are done, and you're not leaving anything to last minute because you can't move that slot. As I mentioned in the intro, one thing to be aware of is this slot booking system can add a bit of pressure, particularly if things aren't going to plan. So it's important not to let that rush you. If something isn't right or you're not ready, it's better to deal with it properly, even if that means missing the slot and trying to get one rebooked. And to be fair, briefings are always really helpful to try and get that booked if they can, and if they've got the flexibility basically. So compared to other GA airfields in the UK, it's definitely a lot more structured, but once you've done it once or twice, it does become pretty straightforward, but it does require more planning. It's not just as simple as waking up and thinking, oh, let's fly to or from Gloucester anymore, like it used to be. So to finish up, while it might feel a little bit unfamiliar at first, it's really just a slightly, I guess, more organised process. And after a couple of flights, it does quickly become somewhat second nature. So typically what I do if I'm planning to fly, obviously based here at Gloucester, obviously I have a little think about where it is that I plan to go, how long it's going to take to get there, if I'm going to have something to eat, how long I might be, how long obviously I'm going to take to come back. Then I'll log in. Obviously, because I'm based in Gloucester, I can do it up to a week in advance, but most times it just ends up being the night before because the weather is very strange here in the UK these days. I will then look on the slot system, see when the departure slot is and an arrival slot that's going to give me my flight time with a little bit of buffer, and then I'll make that booking. In the morning, I'll obviously get down to the airfield, prep the aircraft. I'll then call operations again to book out and give them that separate information. Then I will kind of go about doing my flight as normal. Only once have I had an issue where I was coming back and I was a little bit late due to more adverse wind expected, so the aircraft was slower. I did miss the slot and I had to kind of hang around. I think it's about 30 minutes, so I just kind of went for a flight over Worcester and came back. But that's only ever happened once. To me, every other time, obviously most times you want to be on time, but if I have been a bit late coming back by a few minutes, they've done their best to accommodate me. So again, it's not the people in the tower, this is an operational thing. I really do hope that in the future we can get back to a bit more flexibility instead of having to kind of plan everything. Just to be honest, sometimes I think, a bit like yesterday, it's a great day, it's probably going to be fully booked. I can't be bothered to even check. And it turned out actually there was loads of slots, but then it felt a bit rushed and didn't do it. So have you flown from Gloucester before or visited, or perhaps you're also based at Gloucester? Share your stories below, I'd love to hear them. And obviously if you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to Left Seat Culture for more GA insights, flying trips, tips and all that sort of thing. And if you want to carry on the discussion, join the Discord group, it's completely free and there is a link in the description and I hope to see you there. If I'm really lucky, I'll catch you in the next video. Take care of yourself and goodbye for now.